ready. If only we had a passcode.
Hello everyone, I'm Take, you're you, and it's good to be alive. Welcome back to, we don't do commentary, but we should. Today we are once again commentating High Point in their LUTI season. This is season 16, and today they're going up against the RIT Orange Kois. Today, you might be thinking I'm joined by Sparda, but you would be mistaken. Who do we have today?
Good morning, gamers. I'm out of retirement for commentary, even though I never actually commentated in the first place except at LANs. But I'm Marsh, and I'm here to be the extremely biased commentator.
This is so exciting. Marsh, thank you so much for joining and stepping in. Sparda got a little bit behind. The plan was to have the dynamic duo, but today we've got possibly the terrifying trio. So as soon as we get this this password, we're going to be cooking here. Let me ping Cal.
One more time, surely. Also, your audio is actually good, so congratulations.
I did it.
So proud of you.
Yippee!
Worst case, I just pick up my mic, and I'm good to go.
Stream can see this anyways, so there's no point in me hiding it. 5252 is our pass. If you're here live, get it.
You know I'm already on it.
Look at that. Okay, well, everybody else is getting in here. So yeah, the High Point is fighting the Orange Kois. So far, High Point has a 3-0, and they're running this season of LUTI. And then the Kois, they seem to be the second place in the group with a 2-1 record. So I know there was a little bit of rescheduling, so it's not quite it's their week 3 match just played. I think I can't be bothered if it's week 5 or week 6, and I'm too old for that.
I will say this is really funny to me because so way back in the day, I did play in CCA, and my team, we played I think our first match, and then every single other match got delayed or rescheduled in some capacity. So we played 5. It was 4 or 5. I don't remember how many. 4 or 5 of our season matches, all on the last day. And we had it streamed as a whole the FGC Thunderbirds gauntlet.
Was it fun?
It was an experience. We actually did win most of our matches and made it to playoffs. I think we got 3rd or 4th in playoffs.
Damn. I mean,
it was just something considering I had a player who bought the game just to play in it.
Why did they do that? Were they like a Splatoon 1 veteran, or?
They played 2. They were a friend of mine.
I see.
Remember, these are all local people, so.
Oh, I gotcha.
But so yeah, I feel High Point in the struggle of yes, I'm going to play all of my matches in 1 week, basically. Not as bad, obviously, but still pretty bad.
Looking at our teams here, it looks like High Point has the same. Oh, no. We have Mage. Doritos 4D is in here instead of Oh crap, I'm going back in my mind palace. Because Tusk is here. Dusk is swapped out for Mage right now. And then in Bravo team, those are the Kois. Kibri House, I'm going to just... You're Kirby. I'm sorry. If you hate that, that's my bad, but... Look,
I'll refer to you as House instead.
We got House on left. Better watch out for House.
They about to put him in the house. They're about to sell him this property real quick.
Oh yeah, stocks are on fire.
Is Captain Zone buying the property?
We're about to find out who walks away with the most properties. This is Monopoly up in here now, and it's going down.
And hey y'all, we're the Property Brothers, and we're here to bring you a fully renovated zone ready for you. We have the Kois moving into their lovely new renovated pond.
Oh, speaking of renovated pond, they do have matching banners, which I gotta give it to them.
Renovated pond. Anyway, we got some weapons here. Is that a big swig?
That's a big swig express. Sure enough, in Wellstring, we got some wacky Splatoon going on. So
I'm gonna go look at soda here. I like decaf. I think it's a very funny weapon.
What?
Oh well, I forgot about who you are. Anyway, it's a very funny weapon because it kills people, and it's really funny when it happens. So let's see. Soda's going in. Here we go.
They're trying to make it happen. Yeah, big swig. These comps are so interesting. They're fighting for the zone. So this is ship-shaped zones right off the bat, and it looks like the Kois are the first to go 2 down, but Cooler is out as they run for their lives from who knows
here
what.
Comes the hammer. Goal! I love a good hammer toss.
Especially after that buff, Hammer's doing wacky things. Tusk gets a pick here on the bucket, and they're trying to move up. They're trying to be aggressive and keep this space and see if they can make a lockout happen.
So you know what I thought was really interesting to start with Soda going super aggressive there. They had 2 people looking at them, which would just let the rest of their team get control so easily. We might see a good flank here from them too. We can get this. Believers. Look at this evasion. Staying alive.
It's just so fast-paced. My brain is trying to keep up here. The decaf does nasty things to the bucket, and they get another one on the well string. But and a third one, and a 4th one. Oh, they're out of ink though. Hold on.
Wait. It could be 4. It could be 4. Oh, he doesn't even need to. Oh wait, please. Quad.
Oh my goodness.
So
Alright, Soda is keeping a lot of attention away from the zone, which is perfect because that gives Mage and Cal and Tusk just the opportunity to keep as much just locked down on the zone as they possibly can as the Wellstring is trying to find something desperately, and they do.
That's a good trade from the Viper. Okay, it looks like we're going for a counter push here. Alright, they've lost all their aggro. Now is the Koi's chance to make a move here. Cal jumping out, smart move. We'll jump in a little bold here, but looks like it paid off.
They're getting some paint around the zone. The NZAP is seeing if they can push anymore, but just chucking bombs, trying to play it a little bit safe, and trying to paint for probably another cooler as the hammer comes out.
Oh, listen, every single time, you know, I'm a believer. Okay, so both their.
Okay, I'm watching the Big Swig right now. They're kind of just on zone patrol. As a Big Swig, where do you think the right place for Swig is supposed to be? Is it truly a backline, Marsh?
I think in this scenario, I think you have to basically follow your slosher because that's your only aggro on this comp. You've got to be following them around and just help them. Because I think it does more than 30 on a swing, right? I don't remember.
I couldn't tell you. You'd have to ask Pika.
I'm gonna assume it probably does. It probably does. So because it does more than, or it does 30 at least, it combos with the slosher, right? So you can get a little bit of plays off of there. But you have to stick together, and that can be really hard.
Speaking of sticking together, they're all sticking together in their spawn, which is not what you want when you're behind. There's 2 minutes left on the map. It looks like a closer game than it feels like it is.
Yeah, like, they might have the points, but honestly, I think that's literally just because High Point has a very slow game to play. They can't take control back very quickly, but when they have it, they might not be as easy to move. Oh, we get the flip. Oh, did he back up? There's the good assist from Soda there. That was excellent.
A Fight Club moment as the swords were trying to do something there, and then Big Swig comes in and gets the first pick that I've seen. They're trying. Oh, they're getting some chips. They're trying to scare. They get another one on who was that? Maybe Tusk, and then the Wiper falls down too. Maybe this could be the Koi's chance to get some more points on the board as the Big Swig finds a super jump, and can they get it? No. Soda comes in like the Superman they are.
All right, I'm stopping. Okay, late time. Hammer up. Hammer online. Can we make a play? Oh, here we go. Oh, no good.
Man, in that skirmish, I didn't even notice that High Point got it down to 4, and the Koi's took it back just in the nick of time, and they've already burned through their penalty as 2 go down on High Point.
Ow.
Oh, man, Soda playing amazingly in that bubble.
Yeah, Soda, I'm going to be honest, Soda is carrying right now. Bro has been going mental. Bro is keeping all the eyes on him and making sure to get those kills. Like, this is impeccable.
It's pivotal.
Yeah.
They're doing crazy work out here as Tusk is kind of waiting, and the surprise attack, they got it. They got 2 as they're traded out. I think Wellstring, Wellstring got that pick. My man, Kibri.
So they had a little moment there. They kind of focused on the bucket there in their base really hard, and because of they've lost all of it. Which could make this a little trickier to get back in. But we are probably going to enter, actually we're almost definitely going to enter overtime period unless High Point auto wins. So.
Let's hope the chip and Soda's powers can be combined here to make something magical happen as the Koi's go 2 down. That's big.
I think this is a game. I think 2 down here, and they have chunks up, which can help slow everything down. I think this is a game set match. I don't really make it back in.
It's good positioning. If they could rock Cal off the top, maybe they'd be a little bolder, but I think that's it.
Chump's going to take the zone. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Wait. No, too slow, too slow.
A close game 1, though, on ship shape here.
Yeah. It was a very swingy match. I definitely feel like the winning plays here was basically because Soda was going in so much and just kind of enabling everyone else to move up, right? They're a slower comp. The struggle is getting the Dynamo in position, but if Soda's going to go kill everyone, oh, there's the fist bump. We'd love to see it. It's going to let Tusk get in for free, basically.
And they do love doing that. We saw that on the last match we commentated as well. It seems like Dynamo Tusk loves being sneaky and being where you wouldn't expect a Dynamo to be. And I think probably for the Koi's Big Swig, maybe that was a bit of a shock. Oh yeah, sorry, I should address you. Maybe that was a bit of a shock because it seemed like the Big Swig was playing really just paint duty, zone duty, and playing it safe in the back, which... Who would have been the Koi's aggro in that? Because what they had...
It's Bucket. It's Bucket. It has to be Bucket in that scenario because they're cooler with Zap, which can do a little bit of aggro. But the problem is versus 2 Blade, Zap's gonna have a really hard time. The biggest thing I saw was that the Bucket.
So we're starting at 3v4 because
okay,
the Koi's love a challenge. Oh no!
I see. All right, Take. 3 rollers in 1 match? Good luck, buddy.
Oh, yeah. We'll have a Dynamo, a Big Swig, and a washed Splat roller. This is going to be perfect.
Yeah, it'll be great. But, yeah, I really feel like their Big Swig, if they want to play that, they really need to stick more with the Slosher to help kill the Blades. Because there's not enough time for the Bucket to really get enough hits in if the Blade's going to just one-tap them, especially the decav. So having the roller there to chip in a little bit, and because the Big Swing's gonna easily get that first hit, right? Killing is the problem, not getting a single hit.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Do you think do you think the Big Swig is gonna stay for the entire set, or do you think that was more of a zones gambit?
I don't know if they're a dedicated one trick, right? I mean, obviously the answer is you swap out to something faster to support your Bucket. I would probably say you go. I always want to say you go Blaster, some kind of Blaster.
Interesting.
I would throw in an S-Blast here, and that feels like it's going to cause problems for High Point, because now the Dynamo cries the Blades, they try to aggro and they get poked at all, then the Bucket cleans up instantaneously, or they just randomly explode, right? I really they already have the paint, right? They have the ends out doing a lot of the painting. And Wellstring does paint a little bit, it's not bad. Also, I don't think they were using the hammer Wellstring, were they? I don't remember. I don't think they were though, which feels really weird to me. I feel like they should swap to that. Sorry. I
think it was the Deco one, which is the Wavebreaker one, is it not?
I think so. Yeah. I feel like you swap to the hammer one because you know how aggressive these guys are playing. Just being able to chuck random orbital strikes sounds like a good time to me. Like you call out as the Bucket, hey, I need help over here. Hammer comes in, boom.
Speaking of good time, if the Kois were lamenting Soda Chip's monstrous decav, it's about to be a good time for them because it looks like Soda Chip has been swapped out for a Deku here, who, if I remember right, I think they are a Carbon and Shooter player. So the second match might look a little bit different. We're going to Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track, which, if ever you need to be moving fast and on your A game, it's a map like this, because if you get a sneaky flank or just a quick maneuver, you can take a just absolutely one-sided game into something a little more crazy.
Yeah.
If
I think we'll see the swap to the hammer bow.
Yeah.
100%.
If the Kois are gonna adjust anything, I would want to see a little bit more attack power, a little bit more offense, because if the Bucket was their main source of firepower, well, the Bucket can do stuff. I think that's difficult when your enemies have 2 Blades, a frontline Dynamo, and then a Pencil holding down everything in the back.
Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm very curious. Okay, we're going. Okay, we're on the head it. Okay, and we are double. Okay, interesting. Okay. All right, I gotta call him out. We're running Silver Dynamo in a world where edit is, reigns supreme. We'll see how many coolers they can get here, but I suspect that might be a difficulty for High Point here. Is keeping up the coolers.
I'm fascinated by these comps we're seeing right now. The double Bucket here with the Dread and the Slosher, that is an interesting pairing.
Slider?
Yeah, they're already popping off.
Yep, here we go.
The Kois have Rainmaker.
Dino's in a bad spot. Okay. Cal's holding the fort. Can't really do much against the head it, so that is pretty good. Hammer, miss. Okay, they're fighting back. I actually think they picked up the Rainmaker way too early. They should have been able to clear a little more before going.
That was really fast, yeah, and it's already flipped around. Oh, Mage is going for a crazy mission and survived. They grabbed Cooler before it's all too late. Did they go for the left check?
They did, and they got it by some miracle. I don't agree with that play, but hey, whatever works, right? I don't think you
Interesting.
continue the push from here, though. I think you need to go push the other way. Okay, wait, this is actually really big, though, because the problem is, by going into this check, you're right next to the other check.
Oh, yeah, and it looks like, I think their NZ picked up, and they're going to see if they can try and move it up, but Mage...
Well...
Yeah, Mage was there and ready.
So, that's fine. Okay, Koi's got to get some map control here. They're all focused on the Rainmaker right now, but they should really be aware that they can't get this Rainmaker, even after a pop, right? I think they're going to try to pick up. Wait, actually, they're pushing back. That's 2 down.
Oh.
Okay, actually, this is the time. He's going to get on. Okay, scored. Zuka is whiffing.
Zuka narrowly misses all of those. I didn't see what took down the 2 members of High Point there that enabled this push.
I wasn't sure either. I couldn't tell. I'm on Rainmaker cam right now, so I'm kind of like, how's the Crabber? Young Crabber.
Young Crabber.
And it's over. Young Crabber. All right, this is probably going to be the push here because the blade is down. They're lost a lot of aggro, and they know Cal's on respawn. Or, like, not respawn. They don't have a special.
They picked up Rainmaker, and you really
Hammer?
don't need to do a lot
Did you get the
more.
triple? Wait, did they throw the hammer? I don't think they threw the hammer.
I couldn't tell you, but it looks like High Point is burning all of their specials to take this out, and finally the last Zuka does take out the Dread with Rainmaker. If I'm High Point, I need to get paint and picks and get this out of here.
We need to not have our Dynamo go into mid and lose our cooler.
Oh, you're right. They are the cooler, huh?
Yeah, and I just watched them go on the rail right into mid. Now, they did get map control back, but they're leaving the Rainmaker. Now, this is me. This is the prime opportunity to yoink that Rainmaker.
A little yoink.
Right.
Hey, Cal's watching for it. Hey,
Yep.
hey, Cal's been burned by the yoink a couple times. Man, this bucket has no fear. They're trying.
That was a bold move. That was a bold move from the bucket. That's a little scary to me. You gotta edit looking at me. Point your camera for 1 second.
I think that's exactly how that fight should have ended. The bucket was convinced that they could land a bomb shot on those people in the corner, and that just wasn't happening, man.
Yeah, you gotta respect the hustle.
I guess
All
so.
right, looks like we're kind of at a dead even moment right here. I really think that it's looking like this game's gonna come down to one good push from one of these teams, and I don't know who's gonna be. W slider. We got one.
It's very even. I feel like they keep on trading one for one. As the Kois are cooler, they're gonna see if they can extend their lead any. Let's see if Deku can. They got Zuka charged.
Wait.
They're waiting in the hump.
Oh, that wave breaker. That's actually a really good wave breaker because retrograde is a little too.
Oh, the double from the Zook. All right.
Oh my goodness. I think they weren't even aiming for the other guy. I think they were aiming for a retrograde and accidentally hit them. Okay, we're going back in.
Deku has mad hops. They are zooming.
Did you see that hammer moment, by the way?
I didn't. What happened?
Bro did a full flip on top of them, but they were super jumping out, and it just did not connect. We love hammering.
Oh, it looks like the Dread takes one. The Mage goes down, so now it looks like Kois have a little bit of an advantage.
Okay, that reset was actually huge for High Point. I think if that didn't get a reset, that might have been a complete flip, or a chance, a strong chance. But they really, I feel like High Point got that first score and just has not been able to get back into business here.
No, there's a minute left. Marsh, what does High Point need to do to move this in the right direction?
Tusk needs to not go in by themselves right there. If you notice, they just ran into 2 people with no paint, and everyone is falling apart.
The Kois are swarming mid here, and they're not grabbing because you really don't need to do it. They're grabbing their specials.
So, yeah, they sit here and hold specials. I think they're fine. Like, it looks like High Point's getting control here, but all they have to do is sit on this corner and wait.
The cooler's down. It's a little far, though. I don't know if the members can capitalize on that. That's a risky spot to be in.
Extremely risky pick there, and that's probably going to be the game. If it's me, I grab this and run back to my spawn now, by the way.
Yeah, that's the tactical move here because, yeah, all of High Point is now in their spawn.
Wait.
Oh, Kois are 2 down.
Oh, no, that's they picked up.
Oh.
There was a lot of feeding going on there, and I just felt like they couldn't neither team honestly could really secure mid all that well. It was just that the Kois got the lead first, and they realized we have the lead. Neither of us can push. Let's just make sure. Let's continue making sure no one can push.
That whole game seemed to be a trade fest, and it was an interesting shift of power because, yeah, at the beginning you mentioned that they pushed without much going on, and they almost faked it till they made it. You know, they had that push going, and then they were like, hey, maybe we can keep on getting away with that, and it seemed like they did as they kept on just pushing in.
Yeah, I wonder. I really wish I could have seen the game stats for that game, I'm gonna be honest, because I have to wonder if the deaths were way higher on Koi, but they had more coolers, or if it was even across the board. I would be curious to know. I want to see paint numbers for that game.
Yeah, I will routinely go and check my recent battles and then be like, oh wait, no, I wasn't there. That's a lie.
Well, on the bright side, we got one more with us now.
We do. Sparda has made it. Sparda, welcome to this this terrifying trio that we have in our new series. We don't do commentary, but we should.
Yo, awesome. I'm just happy to be here because some stuff happened. I tell you what, but everything's all good on my end.
Good.
So I guess while I get ready to load up the next game, tell me, just give me a quick recap of what has happened so far.
I'll take game 1, Marsh, you take game 2. So game 1 was a zone ship shape. It was a classy high point. They did some really aggressive, really impressive stuff, and then they had a substitution in game 2 where, what did we see in game 2, Marsh?
In game 2, we swapped off our decav for, hold on, what we swap? Oh, shot. Cal going to edit Nouveau, and Tusk going to Silver Dynamo. And the other team getting a Dreadringer out for a Big Swig.
Big Swig?
They
Oh,
swapped
yeah.
Big Swig out for Dreadringer. And,
okay. Whoops, got that back.
But again, this game was also close, but Koi's realized that they could just play lame, win games, and stall out in the last minute and win the game. The score was only 54-60, by the way. It was close, but neither team could make a good push.
Okay. Well, so it is, sometimes from the side of the viewer, playing lame can sometimes be very unappealing. But hey,
Well,
they're here to win.
I say play lame, win games. It was actually still pretty exciting up to the end.
Oh, okay.
It was more of they saw the win condition was to not play the objective and fight for preventing High Point from playing the objective. So, it's still a good game.
Okay.
It's still a good game.
And
It
now-
was how can we defend the Rainmaker? But we're getting into our next game.
We're going into game 3, which is Clam Blitz on Museum. We do have Soda Chip back in here. Will we see the return of the deplorable decav? It's very likely.
The delightful decav is back talking. I'm so excited.
Delightful, that's crazy.
And we have,
Whoa.
oh my goodness, holy, that comp swap up. We're going Rapid Pro Deco in Sorella Tentabrella.
Sorella tent. So they've got a Zuka on that side. I don't remember. What's the sub for that tent?
Let's go find out, shall we? Ink Mine, which is actually not bad here. I actually like that.
Okay.
I don't, like, on this map in particular, you know the exact route everyone's going, right? And a lot of your fights stall out on that slope there. So if you have mines there, you see free paint, free chip damage.
Oh my land.
Free whatever's going on over here. I also wonder if this is almost a pseudo counter pick in the sense of by picking this, you know all the blades will rush to the Brella, so maybe you can kind of like work around that to attack them.
We're gonna see. So far, it looks like the Kois are employing a similar strategy that they had in the last match, where they're trying to just push in and puff themselves up and look a little more menacing than maybe they are, as Mage does some hammer shenanigans and I can't get the right button, so we'll not see it. Haha, viewers, sorry.
It's okay.
I guess one thing that I want to like bring up as Tage figures out the camera is High Point's comp looking kind of spicy with no shooter, and their main source of paint is going to be all up to Cal on pencil with I guess a little bit of wiper sprinkled in there. That's a very interesting choice. I don't know if that's something unique, or am I just missing something here?
This is a High Point special, I would say. Now, it did work for them the first game. So, can it work for them again? Huska's moving in here.
We're seeing the tent versus the Dynamo,
Oh,
which that's a matchup. They're believing.
Did that hammer not get a kill? How in the world?
It looks like the hammer hit the shield and it nullified it as they're trying to zook over the top, and they don't get anything, but they do get a lot of assists as Cal is the only one on High Point, and the Kois are trying to shift this momentum.
I feel like they kind of got stuck there, and that Zuka was just perfectly timed. I don't think there was much you could do about it, but sometimes you just gotta eat it, you know?
Speaking of eat it, the Kois now have a giant clam economy. They have 2 of the footballs, and High Point goes 2 down. Soda's trying to fight behind, but they can't.
Soda was a good wallbang there, but they're gonna have to
Oh, the greed!
dodge it.
Looks like the blaster really believed in getting the 3rd ball in there, and they just narrowly missed it, which High Point is rejoicing.
I wonder if there's a call for the Brella to be there faster, and they just couldn't get there in time.
It's likely, very likely.
Blaster, I guess, got called. Someone called him out there. Capitalized real quick. This is what I'm thinking is the Blaster is going to start really preventing them from pushing because the blades are going to get called out, right? So they can't really flank me. And I think that's going to be a really impactful since they don't have to worry about any other weapon. It's just the 2 blades, right? They never have to worry about the dynamo, and they don't have to worry as much about it in the same time. I think a push here, Take.
Yeah, we're seeing a skirmish in mid. Who is it? The NZAP? No, that was the bucket. I'm having a time getting my bearings here, but it seems like everybody is out of position. I'm seeing the Dynamo leading the charges. I'm seeing the bucket trying to flank. I'm seeing weird shenanigans here as the teams are kind of just fighting around mid, looking for clams and seeing who can get just a little bit of a leg up first. So we're seeing Chumps come out into mid, but Mage gets a pick on the NZAP and sees if they can sneak into their side. And 3 down on the side of the Kois. That's a wipe!
Okay,
that's a full-ass wipe!
Alright, lead flip, send it! Oh, we're going up high, too. Interesting.
Oh,
alright, let's see this.
Okay.
Here's the jump in.
The Soda Chip jumping in with a ball. They do the slide. They get it's good.
And it's good!
Cal's the only one left, but I'd say that's a good trade. They got in, that's nearly 70, that's actually 69 clams into the basket, and there's a minute left of the game in the high point. All it took was just like 20 seconds, and they're back in this game.
Okay, I want to acknowledge something that I just realized.
Yeah.
You know, I said it earlier, I'm a biased commentator for this match, but I'm now a biased commentator for a different reason, and that is, can we take a moment to look at this outfit that Retrograde is wearing here?
Oh, no, absolutely not. The Lego Man silver armor, no. Although it did enable them to get to them to get that ball in there as the bucket is dreaming. They get a pick on Tusk and they're dreaming, but it's not enough dreams, so it takes them out.
You know, it was probably the blinding from how atrocious that armor is that really helped them get that score there, I feel like.
Okay, but is the Splatoon 1 or 2 robot armor worse? Which one's more deplorable?
2 is definitely worse. It's so uninspired. It looks awful. The only, like, at least one's is like, it was novel. Also, we have 1 power. We have 25 seconds left in the game here.
We have 3 seconds left in the game here.
We have 20 seconds, actually.
Oh, because of overtime. Never mind. I see what you mean.
RKO bomb out of nowhere.
Mage
that's
is
the decap down.
Yeah, Mage is holding on to this ball. They probably don't need to, and it marks them. They die to the bucket? Hold on, what?
That was an insane bucket hit. Oh, wait, they're going in! Wait! Oh, they're so close!
Tusk is out of ink! Oh my goodness.
Oh
that,
my goodness.
Woo-wee.
That was close. That wouldn't have won if it scored, but it certainly would have been scary. But they clutched up there.
Okay, we are going every other. It looks like High Point takes game number 3. I picked the one perspective I shouldn't have because Tusk had the right position with Dynamo, but they were out of ink, so I saw like 3 empty flings that we almost saw the lead shift as they were just witnessing it. But thankfully, everybody else was able to come to the rescue and take care of that threat. And yeah, we're looking at a 2-1 set right here. How far do you think this set is going? Last time I predicted incorrectly. I said it was going to 8 games and it was a 5-0. What are we seeing for this one?
I mean, we could be getting the 5-4. We could be going game 9. Now,
I could definitely see the game 9, yeah.
I'd be curious. Okay, so we're about to see our last mode of tower control. And based on the comps, I do think High Point loses this. Just on the comps alone.
TC Hagglefish.
Okay, well, actually, if it's Hagglefish, that changes things a little bit.
That's pencil stunks right there.
Yeah,
The only issue here is that if Kois opt to keep a blaster, I can see High Point kind of having a bad time trying to get through checkpoints just because with TC comes the ink strike. So unless High Point really coordinates their pushes to take bubble into account, I can definitely see where you're coming from, Marsh. Where so far it does seem like Kois have the advantage here. You have strikes to kind of cancel the bubbles. You have blasters to just like kind of like cheese the tower.
So I would say that, except because we're on Hagglefish, this puts Cal in a really strong position, right? Because the other team doesn't have a charger backline, it's probably the best tower control map they could get outside of something disgusting like not on the map list. We will not speak these maps into existence.
No.
But for legal maps, this is probably the best one they can run. So I'm curious if we're going to see the bow come back out for Koi's here.
Yeah, we've seen different things for the Kois almost every time. Are we getting the big swig again? Are they gonna be brave and bring it back?
Really?
Oh,
That would be a
for
bold move.
TC, I doubt it. That would be a very
All right,
bold
bucket.
Well,
Well-
bold they are. Retrograde busting out the normal big swig, the one with
Okay.
vacuum this time.
I think that's a very, very strange choice because they have a decal, which just goes nice and back, idiot. Unfortunately, lady. But, okay. I think the biggest thing, okay, calling it right now, this is going to be a game of paint. If High Point can control the paint, they will win. If they do not control the paint, they're going to lose because Kois have no paint.
Yeah, when Big Swig is your main source of paint, that might not bode great. And speaking of not boding great, High Point goes 2 down as Never Lucky gets a nasty pick on Tusk. We're seeing
Clean.
yeah, they're not interested in tower right now as the bucket is on a roll. They get Mage, but the roll is stopped by Soda Chip and the ever demanding Decavitator that's now taking out. Oh, Big Swig, you're toast, buddy.
Yeah,
You gotta
I
run.
was like-
You gotta go.
Bro got Mario'd.
There it is. I'm sorry, like Big Swig I love, but versus a decav, you're D away, my friend.
Okay, here we go. This is the push. Alright, we have strikes. Here they come. Gotta slow them down.
The strikes are a little sporadic, but they get it done. They get the job done. Oh, and they're able to they're able to die is what they're able to do.
Yeah.
As Tusk gets that pick in the bucket, they're taking some space.
Okay, here's a chump. They're gonna chump to get him in. Yep, get some easy paint here.
And High Point is past check 1 as Cal
Okay.
is perched on the tower.
Oh, good defense right there. Yep, yep. Okay, big thing I've noticed this game, Tusk is not rushing in. They are staying by Cal for most of this. And it looks like it might just be a clean. Oh my goodness, that's where you want to be. Yep,
Oh,
almost there.
the bow is doing everything they can, but they can't
Cal
do
gets
a
the
lot.
pick.
The bubble, they get jumps on tower. Is that
And
it?
that's it. That's it.
Oh,
Wait,
2 go down, 3 go down.
Oh my
That
goodness.
is a wipe at 1 point for
no.
High Point. The Kois
Guys.
have got an uphill battle, but they are still in this game with 3 minutes left.
1 point lead. 1 point lead.
Yeah, no, this is how games are lost. Man, shout out to Kibri House on the Wellstring. They did a phenomenal job staying cool, fighting through that bubble, and they're still in this game.
I'm a born hater, but you gotta respect the defense when you see it, you know. Now, this is the kind of games that we love to see. The last second clutch ups for the potential comeback. Because never give up.
That's exactly what the Kois need to hear because they just went 3 down trying to take space and push High Point back. But High Point, they're saying, we didn't like that all that much. We worked for it and then got cheese. So we're coming right on back and you better get ready.
Here's the back, and
The vacuum has other
Alright.
things to say. No picks,
Soda has
barely.
even more things to say, actually.
Oh,
man.
boy. This is
Okay,
happening.
What kind of adjective would you use to describe this match right now?
This match right now, surprising is the first word that comes in because
That's
it
We
looks
can do a little better than that.
jaw dropping,
Okay.
bamboozling even.
Oh.
There's a good
That
one.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's not even a bamboozler here.
I would go with it's been a rather striking.
Sparda, get in here. No, I'm kidding.
Well, see, I would very much love to jump in, but like considering that my only avenue of seeing the game is 4 seconds behind you guys, I can very much offer post-match commentary, but
Oh, okay. Oh,
I'm a little
Sparda,
behind.
Hold on, Sparta. You gotta bust out. Can we get the face cam with like a whiteboard behind you? You know, get the drawings going. You know?
Oh yeah. Be the analyzer
All right,
for my
guys,
stream.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to the desk with Sparta to analyze that match.
It looks like
that would be, that would be interesting.
the Wellstring, they're, and again, I would love to see the stats for this, but it looks like their wave breaker is putting in a lot of work. I keep on seeing assists left and right that are really getting a lot of mileage here to try and help the Kois get back mid, but we're already down to 1 minute remaining. People are chucking specials. We see strikes coming out. We see the Kois trying to get space. The bucket, it's a bucket v bucket battle, and Mage wins that one, and they're fighting for their life as they get the blaster as well. That leaves only the decav.
Alright, I won't lie, this might be getting wrapped up shortly here because there's so little time left. They would have to get on this tower and not get off for the rest of the game to be able to win.
And that's going to be very hard to do as the Kois are now 3 down, leaving the Wellstring all alone yet again in a sea of chumps, which isn't that menacing, but with all the rest of the chip, that's a lot to deal with.
Okay, I would like to call this a game set match because the strikes are online. All we have to do is sit back and relax.
That's
so
it.
Is in sharking position.
We are going to
And
Mage's
give him the night
perspective. They're doing what you should do. They're hiding back in mid, and they're waiting with their strikes. They're chucking bombs. It's a little bit of a cheeky maneuver, but really, you don't have to sweat your butt off. You just have to play smart, because at the end of the day, all that matters is if it's a W or an L, and they're getting that dub.
If you notice, they're giving up space, and here we go. 1, 2, 3.
That's all you need. A little
Because
despicable.
You can space them out just enough, where there's nothing you can do about it. All right. Well, that was certainly a paint game. I felt like Koi's could never get control. Ever get control that going there. They needed another painter to really support that comp. They just did not have it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, just kind of silently observing that entire match. I very much feel like, I know it feels like every single time I commentate a match, it's like the old saying, right? Like, they just lost at weapon select because one, they were outranged. 2, they couldn't put up nearly as much paint as High Point, and the only way they were going to be able to win that game is if they just steamrolled it and just got kills all the way through to the end. But obviously, as we just saw, that is not what happened. They did have some signs of life. They didn't get immediately KO'd, but if you can get your tower to 1 and still kind of dominate the entire game like how High Point did, it is going to be very hard to win that match. And every single time they had an opportunity to win via just like winning, not just their 1v1s, but just winning the team fights, they just could not pull it through. High Point just put up a wall that they could not get past.
That's exactly what we saw. I think if I'm the Kois right now, and this has been something that I've been saying since the very first game of this set, and of course I'm biased because I'm an old fart who plays roller, but I would like to see the Big Swig play either vanilla or carbon, because it seems like I don't know, they're not getting the paint up because it seems like the Kois are often 1 or 2 down. And when you're 2 down, it doesn't matter if those are the most paint efficient weapons, you're still not contributing. And so it seems like, I would love to see how many times Cal is dead, because it seems like Cal is never dying because the Kois are having a hard time making any presence on mid. So I would like to see from the Kois a little bit more offensive pressure, like, again, Carbon would be able to handle that really well with the Zuka, with just the sneakiness, because I think they're crumbling a little bit over just these chaotic swords that are up in your business and moving really fast, and that's a lot to deal with, but you're not going to win that by playing more safe weapons. You're going to overcome that by bringing that energy to the table as well. And maybe we'll see, well, if we don't see that here on Splat Zone's Ramen, this one is certainly going to High Point as well.
Yeah, this is gonna be a match. Now, I do think if I'm Kois, I bring out the W slider here on the Dread.
Oh, yeah. That's a strong choice. Because I think it nearly caps it, right? Or if not, it does.
It's pretty close. And knowing High Point's comp, you W slider in, knowing the Dynamo's on the other side, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Launching in to Game 5, the score is, I believe, 3-1 in favor of High Point. It looks like Mage is going on the bench, and we have Deku returning here. So we've got Soda Cal, Deku, and Tusk. And then what comp do we have for the Kois?
Okay. I think this could be a very interesting match.
Return of the Tent. Is that Blaster the right choice?
It is a choice, and I think it might work.
It has angle marker. What?
Has a, it also has whale.
Whale,
now, High Point's
okay.
generally very weak to blasters. So, I mean, we can see right now they're going in. It's a little early though, so we'll see what happens. Backing up. So the thing about this, right, is that it's maybe kind of hard to shove them out once the Umbrella gets their Umbrella back up, because the blaster can just support them so easily. Yep. They try to put. Okay, Tusk should not be the one pushing in there. We should be having a shot and Blade going up in there. There's the W slider. Cal and Tusk in a bad spot right now. Cal's out. Tusk needs to get out of there quickly. Well, maybe not actually. There's 2 down.
There's a lot of shots being swapped on the zone here. We saw 2 down on High Point, 2 down on Kois, and now it seems like it's kind of neutralizing again as the Kois are the High Point, pardon me. They're ticking down, and Soda goes down on their elbow. It's 3-3 here as the Tent is watching out for bombs and trying to just add some sort of chaos over the zone.
This is kind of just a mess of a game right now, to be honest. Everyone's just dying left and right. Tusk is going on an adventure here. And Soda's also going on an adventure. And Neutral's going on an adventure. This is literally just everyone's falling over. And now Neutral, oh my goodness.
The buckets.
Everyone's just dying.
The buckets wanted to take that zone for the Kois, but they just ran into a nasty pencil that was poking and prodding. And Tusk, wait a minute, Tusk, where are you going, bro? Hold
Buddy,
on.
You gotta slow down, brother. Well, you know, maybe they don't have to slow down. Maybe... Oh, W slider.
Okay, all right, they're believing.
That was actually low-key a really good slider. Wait, that is an aggressive play, and it's paying off. Tusk and Soda are separated. Cal is 1v1ing.
Oh, Tusk is trying so hard to keep the zone, but
Okay.
they can't. It goes
That
back to
was-
the Kois.
Oh my goodness, that was so close. Honestly, neutral getting rid of Cal and Deku there was key to that because it isolated their other two weapons and just let them run them over. And we are moving up. Cal goes down. There's the blaster assist. See, now Retro's gonna be able to just wall him out with the blaster, and this is gonna be a rough comeback.
If you're the
Break
Kois
the
right
line.
now, yeah, you need to have maybe one person keeping a lazy eye on zone, but you need to move up. You need to try and keep them from doing anything. And Deku using that Zook to get 2 picks, and their high point is cooler now. They have a bubble on zone. They have chumps going out, and oh, but the Zuka!
Whoa!
The tent Zuka, but the tent is already dead as well.
We're flipping right back around. I can't, dude. This is a chaos of a match. Just-
Chaos control. Cal takes a pick on the slosher and wants
Oh,
to hold
no,
that
no,
side.
slider. Soda going in.
And just like that, the
Oh,
zone is
okay.
back to high point. The Kois had a nice ride with the zone, and it looked pretty convincing, but kind of like we saw in Hagglefish, they tripped a little bit in the spawn, and then they're forced all the way back as Soda's taking on the
Okay,
entire
yeah.
army with a flank, maybe? They're underneath. I see.
Maybe? Oh, neutral called it out though.
Oh!
So we should be seeing a call out. Wait, Never Lucky's didn't hear the call out. I don't think Soda was able to clean that up. Hold on, this might be it.
This
They have
Zuka
Zuka.
is praying. They're
Tusk is
blocking.
moving in there. Okay, Tusk goes down.
That was good pressure from Tusk, even though it was a death, because I think if that Zuka had been able to run amok, that could have been pivotal for the Kois.
Soda's still alive. Soda with W slider. Boom. I love me a good W slider.
And they're still
Wait, that
alive.
actually
Good
got-
for them.
Yeah. Okay, it might not have capped the zone, but it made everybody look at them, right? Which let the rest of their team get in there, and now they're just running over them, moving on in.
Which leaves high point with only Cal. They're forced to jump back and brace for another thing of the Kois. If the Kois can play this the right balance of aggro and just smart plays here, we could see a game for the Kois. Oh!
Okay, anyone's game that bomb? Insane.
A bucket got 2, which is going to be pivotal.
The flank?
Tusk
they
was
got the call.
coolered, so they're going to come right back, and they do have chumps, but they have to fight through that Brella. Oh, but the Brella, the tent shield, the Zuka, it's happening
Oh
here
my
in mid.
goodness. I'm a firing the lasers. We are just going all over the place. I like that mine in zone, by the way. Low key, is that mine gonna win them the game? Oh my gosh, the mine won them the game.
No way.
No way.
That's it.
Wait.
Oh, Cal is fighting for their lives, painting as much as they can. It's going back and
Oh,
forth, but Tusk
that's
is the
it.
only one. The Kois, the orange Kois, have taken another game
know?
and tied it at 2-2.
I did say W slider was the answer. W slider might have been the answer.
You
Although
predicted
low
it.
key, that ink mine kind of went crazy.
I didn't see it. Describe it for the people at home.
Brella's in zone. They have someone approaching. Their mine has been in zone for a little bit. The guy comes at them. I think they hit a partial. They got too close and the mine went off and killed them,
No.
which tainted most of the zone.
The ink mine heard around the world.
Okay, what's the worst music we can put on?
I can't tell you that because you'll put it on, and it's so upsetting.
Oh, where's the...
It's I don't remember the name, but it's one of those Salmon Run ones where it makes no sense and it sounds like a broken jukebox just going over and over and over, like burr, 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 burr. But then in the middle, the beats are unsynchronized, and it's just the most awful brain sensation of evil you've ever heard.
Now, one thing that I definitely noticed in that game is I don't know if it was this way for the first two, but it kind of seems, outside of the Haggle TC, it kind of seems like these games are coming down not just to the matchups, but who can win the final team fight. Because it just kind of feels like, as you guys were pointing out as the game progressed, the zones kept flipping, map control kept flipping. It just kind of feels like this, this match between High Point and the Kois is just a boxing match. It's just who can get who can get the harder hit, and it turns out the harder hit was that ink mine. Because that ink mine literally changed the game.
Yeah, it is. I honestly feel like this is a very much all offense, no defense from both of them.
And speaking of
Yeah,
boxing
because-
match, sorry Sparta, when we saw Rainmaker on Humpback a little bit ago, that's exactly what it was. I think the best score was in the 50s. They really didn't push it very far, neither team did, and it came down to that very end maneuver. So you're exactly right. And Rainmaker Scorch, I don't know. We might see the exact same thing, because though it can get so stally with how you can take the Rainmaker down into those pockets and just play a little bit shifty. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna see here.
I really like that comp last time. As I said, they have a weakener to Blaster, so I wonder if they're gonna realize that and pick Blaster again here, even though it's Rainmaker.
Yeah, and as the the game begins, and you guys can spoil the comps for me, it kind of like how you were saying how their win condition
comps.
was that Blaster. It kind of feels like they're not fully taking advantage of that. There are moments where they can see the Blaster is how we clear out objective, but then like as soon as they get a little bit of ground, they immediately lose it, which kind of leads to like the nature of like an endless boxing match.
Well, we have exact same comps, so I still think this is actually the back sounds good on paper, but the double blades make this a little tricky. Interesting W slider.
I think that slider is going to come in handy on this map, though, because of the elbows and those long lanes, and especially just Rainmaker that can be pretty clutch. Tusk is bullying a little bit. They're taking this elbow. They do go down to the blast. The ink mine, actually. But their pressure was known.
Truly something special. I love me a good ink mine. I also love me a good soda.
Good
Bro,
soda indeed. They're they're trying to get this 10.
Popping off.
Speaking of popping off, man, High Point, they pushed all the way to
15.
15. We're seeing a little bit of High Point rage. I think they're like, nah, we don't want this to be close. We want this to be a blowout.
Hold on. Do we see that shark?
Absolutely not.
Shark?
Mage is thinking about it. Can they yoink?
Oh, they got
Can
revealed,
they
they've been
sploink?
Oh!
They're doing it! They're going! They're going! They've done it! Mage with the yoinky sploinky, a villain after my own heart! We saw it.
You know,
we were
those are
there.
the kind of plays I live for.
We were there.
Oh, that brings me back, Take. Now that is a classic Rainmaker maneuver.
That's it
game.
right there.
That's game set match. Just like that.
Was that the winning
5-1.
play?
Wait, no. Is it 4-1 or 5-1?
I think there's one more. I think there's one more.
That's 4-2. 4-2.
4-2. Yeah, 4-2.
Sorry. I was like, no way we're ending on that. That is insane. Sorry, that was
That was vile. We saw Retrograde on the tent trying to do the right maneuver and make sure there was a mine there and that it was painted, but Mage kind of said, don't care, didn't ask, and just scooted right over it and got the win.
I thought that they, I didn't even realize that they had, I thought they had gotten spotted and called out, but I guess they just did not see them.
I think, and maybe I'm wrong here, but the chaos of chumps being on top, if I was the Kois, I would have thought, why the hell are there chumps here, loser, and moved on, and maybe that's what happened, because the chumps came down, and Mage just wriggled right to the podium like an absolute legend. Well done, Doritos 4D.
Man, that was...
And I feel that was a text... I don't want to say it's a rookie mistake, but I feel like that's a mistake that a lot of teams make in Rainmaker, where you think the push is over, right? You and all of your team are just in full-blown panic mode, and you fail to realize that you didn't truly get a wipe. One person on the enemy team lived, and they did not pick up the Rainmaker, because I did a little bit of an instant replay, and the tent on the side of the Kois, they were painting. I'm assuming they were shooting at the chunks, but they didn't grab. They popped Zuka, and unfortunately got caught by Doritos 4D trying to paint. They got caught in the swipe, and that cost them the game.
Dang, that is something else. We're going to same comps though.
The same comps. We're going to, I'm having a moment. What is this map called? Is this Umami? Yeah, Umami Clam Blitz. Clam Blitz went... It was a wild game last time where it looked like High Point wasn't able to do much, but in one push, High Point popped off. So we're gonna see what happens in this time here on Umami.
Yeah, I mean, we're already 2 down, so we can make the magic happen.
2 down. It seems like the Kois are a fan of the ink mine. Maybe they're among us here in chat and they're like, yo, more ink mine shenanigans, because we're seeing more of that. But that is a good play, because kind of like you were describing on Museum, there's not a whole lot of ways to basket here on Umami.
Oh my goodness! Listen. I'm Tusk's biggest hater, and I am mad they got away with that.
What happened? I didn't see it.
Bro went in and got a double somehow and scored. And now it's 36 to 100, and Tusk is still alive.
Make
Someone
that
kill this
4.
guy. He keeps getting away with it.
They're popping
Thank you.
off.
Oh my goodness! Here comes the hammer, and everyone's back in action. More points being scored. We might have 100 to 0.
Cal's grabbing 3 clams. They're gonna need a little bit more. If Soda can get
Soda
a bubble
has-
down, that's gonna be big.
Wait, there's
3
is
more
there enough
clams. Oh,
my
Tusk
goodness, I don't
Tusk
think
has the clams, but I don't think they can make it in time.
No, they're not gonna be able to make it in time. Oh, they were so close though. That was
Ooh.
disgusting.
This is
I
go for it, sorry.
am disgusted this play even happened, and I don't know if I should be applauding them or disappointing them for doing that.
And you know, sometimes that is the bread and butter of Splatoon. If it works, maybe it's not dumb.
Exactly. You know, as someone who does a lot of dumb plays in many games, I can attest to this of causing many reactions of, why did you do that? And why did you get away with it?
Speaking
And I'm
of,
Maybe it was just dumb enough to work. Sometimes that's all you need.
we see absolutely Tusk has just a taste for that now. They went straight back in there, and they're enabling another push. They got down to 4 this time. Not exactly what you want to see. Maybe not worth it, because this is going to give the Kois a chance to get map control, get some clams, and just breathe for a minute. This is a warning shot to the Kois. You have got to lock in if you want to stay in this set, because High Point is fucking firing on all cylinders right now.
I guess you could say they're high power.
High power, weird power, but it's working.
Hey man, this is
Weird,
our
man.
alternative energy sources. Oh,
Right,
the
I mean-
denial!
Considering that this is game point for High Point, I would be feeling very nervous if I was the point, because Tusk being able to get away with that twice and almost just straight up beating them, they have to be at least a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting that full wipe actually mattered more than the points themselves. Or I think it mattered more to High Point to actually stay alive there and not let them get map control here, right? Because now that they've locked down mid, they've been holding it pretty well. It's just a matter of can they get the actual points on the board.
It's going to be hard for them to do. They're trying to push in a little bit more, but they are going down. It looks like High Point is fine with this this lead, and they want to keep it as, again, Tusk is swatting people down from mid with the might of Zeus and making a ball. They're ready to launch chumps probably here in a minute. Let's see if they can make something wacky happen again.
And hammer?
Oh,
And there's the hammer. Oh, but okay, they die. Okay.
that's
Going back and
explosive.
forth. Everyone's just going back and forth.
Oh, Soda, do you have a bubble? No, Soda, no bubble on the Soda. They die with 7 clams, but I mean, honestly, High Point, you don't need to do a lot. You can try and lock it down because they need 1 power clam and a little bit, I think 3 more clams, and that's a done deal. So actually, yeah, maybe you do want to seal it out. As Mage gets a nasty pick on the Dread.
Well, I think it's worth, right? It's still worth High Point's time right now to be a little reckless and try to keep the pressure up. Because the longer they delay this mid control, the better their chances to cheese out a victory, right? If they never get mid at the end here, what can they do?
And I think they'll be able to do it because the Kois are 2 down. They have a blaster in the tent, but they do get 1 pick on Soda. So now their teammates are coming back in. 30 seconds remain. The Kois are going to need some huge strategy. They do have the Pity Clan back at their base, so if they can get some pivotal picks and get in there, they'll have a little bit of ammo to try and throw, but the bucket does go down on the side of the Kois, and High Point is just looking at mid. They're coolered up. They have the Mage has their hammer ready, and that could be nasty. They're going in. They're going in.
Here we go.
They get a trade.
Down. Oh, W slider. 2 down. Wait. Okay. This is what dreams are made of, Take.
Oh, the Kois may not know it, but yeah, they have mid right now.
20 seconds left.
The Dread is
We're going
being
into
real
overtime.
bold. You gotta calculate that. You gotta work
The
together.
bomb. The ball. I think that, and that's gonna be it.
Oh
And that is it.
man, the
There's
tent.
not enough.
That's just not
That's-
where you
that's
want to
the
be.
Wipe out, and that is the game.
Game set
Congratulations
match.
to High Point.
High Point, you've done it again. This one was a little bit closer than the last stream we saw. Y'all put on a good fight. GG's to High Point and the Kois as well. Gosh, Sparda, what do you have for us? What do you think of that game?
Honestly, I feel like even though, you know, the points weren't as like it wasn't a points wise, it doesn't look like a complete domination, but I just feel like High Point had everything under control even when they were pushed back to their spawn. Because if also anybody watching the stream, if you looked at their clam economy, almost the entire game, the Kois just had no clams.
I was gonna say
even
that.
and even when they got pushed back, Tusk had like 6 or 7, and then Cal had a organically made power clam. So even if they got to their spawn, they had no clam to score with. I think like at one point, like only one person on their team had clams. It was like 3. Like you can't do anything with that.
Yeah, I noticed that around the 1 minute mark. I was like, they only have 2 clams. Even if they somehow got a wipe here, they don't have enough clams to really make a strong push at the end there. And like, I feel like the big thing I kind of realized throughout this whole set was, if we notice, our early games were very close, and then it started to get a little more lopsided as we progressed here. So I want to say that's High Point kind of getting the download. We saw a little bit of a adaptation from the Kois on that on the ramen game with that comp selection, really clutching up there. But I think High Point just kind of figured it out, and I think they're just a little stronger at some of the other modes.
I agree with that.
And like also pretty good adaptation on the side of High Point as well, because I mean obviously they know, right? Like they are extremely weak to Rapid Pro Deco, and the 2 swords were just able to protect Tusk and Cal just enough that like the Rapid could never really get a good angle to like poke at them with. Like they were just constantly being pressured by the swords, and like, oh, you overextended a little bit too much. Get one shot. You know, like
yeah, definitely. And then like
it feels. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the biggest turning point in regards to like the comp stuff was when they had the blaster out, but the tower match was on a very, very unfavorable match for the Kois. Being on a Hagglefish was so beneficial to High Point. I think if it was any other map, I think we would have seen a much closer game.
That play by the bow was insane when they just held the end and stopped it at 1. And I think my takeaway for the Kois, they did have their moments and they would push back, and it was not a one-sided set. But I think moving forward as the Kois, I think something you might focus on is figuring out ways to sustain your pushes a little bit longer, because it seemed like as soon as momentum was in their court again, they would rush really fast, but maybe not really smart. And I think you can have all the speed in the world, but if you don't have your teammates backing you up or your specials available to get you out of a bind, it's going to be a hollow push. And we saw that almost every time. And so, you know, strikes or bubbles or whatever it might be to enable those pushes to go a little bit longer is just a stronger play in general.
And honestly, for me, I know, like, this is like the most generic advice you can give to any competitive team. But Kois, you need to get a splash in there. You really do. Like some of those comps, they could have been spicy, but you were just the lack of paint from some of their comps, especially in that Haggle TC. I think that just doomed their game from the beginning. Like, you guys need to get some kind of consistent painter to keep you alive in situations where you can't quite steamroll through the game and just get all the picks and all the team fight wins that you need. You just need a good sustain weapon. You need a Neo Splash at the very least, or something, because some of those games were definitely lost due to the fact that High Point was never. I felt like they were just never threatened to lose map control ever.
Yeah, definitely. They just had so much control. I think it was also that the Kois comps weren't fast enough to pressure the Dynamo, right? That's the quote-unquote weak point of their comp, and they couldn't abuse it at all. Even when they saw the blaster, they got it. They did a little bit, but then High Point went, hold on a second. Mods, send in the blades. And took care of that problem real quick. So
this set means good things for High Point. High Point is going to the playoffs. So LUTI Season 16, Group E, you will see more of High Point in the playoffs, and if we did a good job today, you might even see more of us over there. But a huge thank you to High Point, the Orange Kois, to Marsh and Sparda as well, and a thank you to you, the viewer. Thanks so much for stopping in and just having some fun with us. Marsh, any closing thoughts you have?
I need more hammer cheese, guys. There was only like one hammer. Throw. Please throw more hammers next time.
Okay, hammers. Good. Sparda, what do you got?
I apologize in advance for being late. It was out of my control, but I'm glad to have been able to see the last half because yeah, this was a much more interesting set than the last one I had than the last one I commentated. No offense, but I'm just glad that I was able to catch at least the last half of a really good set. And you know, despite the result, GG's to both teams. I am pretty sure. I'm not sure if the Kois have a chance of making playoffs. But if not, chins up. Just work on your team comps. Just work on map control, and I wish you guys nothing but the best.
It really depends on how the rest of the group does, because before this match, it was High Point and the Kois that were slated to be in playoffs. But I know there was a drop or two in the group, so yeah, it really depends on the rest of the scores that come in and whose strength of schedule is the strongest to see who will go to playoffs.
Deploying 10,000 thunderstorms to knock your Grim's power out next week. Good luck, teams, and you'll be fighting the ISPs. Your final challenge.
So that is all from us for today. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and everybody, have a good night.
Good night.